Their hero held them tight. I'll start Folgers to brew. Mountain-grown aroma coming through.
Folgers aroma roasted coffee made from mountain-grown beans, richly roasted and finely ground for great waking up aroma.
Oh, what that aroma can do, brighter day for me and you. The best part of waking up is
Cooper Cup! Cooper Cup!
3rd and 20 now. They'll just run it to Gurley. He's got a monster hole. Todd Gurley. He's got the first and more. Todd Gurley all the way. 57 yards on 3rd and 20.
Of all the guys, it's the rookie John Franklin Myers who knocks it out of Cousins' right hand.
We saw it last week. We've seen it a lot throughout Kirk Cousins' career. He's got room to kind of slide up, but he just does not feel.
Welcome to a new Clash of the Horns. In today's video, we're going to be talking about two subjects. Basically, the NFC West as a whole, and also the Seattle Seahawks. So the Rams play Seattle on Sunday. Just to tell you the truth, I think the Rams will be victorious. I do think the Rams will win 45-14. Last year, I think we beat them 42-7. This year, it's kind of weird. The Rams keep scoring a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more while the season progresses. That could be because the offenses are getting a little, weaker. It doesn't make sense because we just played the Vikings and we scored like 38. And then we played the Cardinals, we scored like 33. But nonetheless, the Rams are scoring points and a ton of points, like greatest show on turf status points. But they're out here playing the Seattle Seahawks this week. And, the offensive line for Seattle is pretty doo-doo. It's pretty basically bad. It's, I'd say, about the same standard as the Arizona Cardinals. It's pretty bad. And then I think the Niners have, next to us, one of the best offensive lines in the division. So at least they got that going on for themselves. But you look at the way that Russell Wilson still is running for his life. His weapons aren't that great. I'd say Tyler Lockett is basically his best player on the offensive side of the ball. And then they have 3 running backs. I have no clue who the other 2 running backs are. Their names, I think one of them is Carson. But then you have, I think his name is Rashad Penny. And he's 3rd in their ranking for running backs. And they should have gone offensive line. But I don't want to go on the rant on that. I don't want to give them good ideas. But they should have gone offensive line with their pick. And they ended up picking up a running back, which makes no sense to me. But the Rams have everything going on for them. They have a great offensive line, tremendous running back. By the end of the time that Todd Gurley retires, I think he'll be in the Hall of Fame for sure. At least he'll be one of the best running backs the Rams have ever had, in my opinion. And I'm living through that again. I was living through the Marshall Faulk years. Steven Jackson, underrated. But Todd Gurley is just phenomenal, and we hit the jackpot when we drafted him. But we have a great running back, tremendous wide receivers. Brandon Cooks is possibly one of the steals, one of the best offseason moves. And he's making his presence known. 452 yards in 4 games as of right now. 452 yards. That's, if he keeps going the way he's going, he's going to have 1,800 yards by the time the NFL season, the regular season finishes. So, look at Brandon Cooks. He's doing a great job. Cooper Kupp, phenomenal, one of the most underrated wide receivers. And then you have the same thing about Robert Woods, underrated. And by every position, the Rams are stacked. Other than outside linebacker, I think the Rams have probably one of the best rosters in the NFL. And then you look at Seattle, and they're hit and miss on defense. Offensive line is terrible. Wide receivers is one good one. You have a pretty decent or to above average quarterback when it comes to Russell Wilson. And then, Jared Goff is MVP in my opinion right now when it comes to best quarterbacks. I think him and obviously Mahomes is top 2. As of now, if you were to end the season right now, they're the best in the position. So, I mean, in all aspects, the Rams are way better. So, winning by 45-14, in my opinion, is no shocker. If you look at the coaching staffs, I mean, Sean McVay, Coach of the Year last season, and you have Pete Carroll, whose team is kind of, the team doesn't even like him. I don't know whether or not when Earl Thomas got injured, which is messed up because they should either extended him or traded him, but they did none of the above. Really is going to leave a bad taste in the locker room, and I think this year or next year, as the Seahawks get worse and worse because of the fact that they paid guys too much and everything's kind of collapsing around them, it's like a total fire around Russell Wilson right now. I mean, I kind of
I'm
feel bad
okay
for
with the
guy,
events that are unfolding
he's a rival,
currently.
so I can't feel bad for him. But I mean, Pete Carroll is possibly going to get the boot eventually. I think he's going down the Fisher, the Fisher tone. There's like a Jeff Fisher tone about that team right now, and it's not working out so great. So, in all aspects, the Rams are victorious, and I think they will be the best team in the NFL this year. It's starting to look like no one can beat them, and I think because the defense just has to do a little bit to help the offense. I mean, just give them a couple takeaways, linebackers, just improve your game. I mean, Mark Barron is going to be back this game. Supposedly it's questionable, but I do think that he's going to be back this year, and this game, and him and Corey Littleton together are going to be better than Mark Barron and Ogletree, and that's a pretty big upgrade because Ogletree as a pass coverage guy was good, but as a like an actual linebacker, he was not that good. I mean, Corey Littleton is an upgrade, and he was an undrafted free agent from Washington. So I think this is going to be a very good dynamic duo linebacker core with the tenacious threesome. You know, trying to get after Russell Wilson is going to be a good game for us Ram fans. You know what? Just go grab your popcorn, Ram fans, and just watch us go after Russell Wilson. I think his best friend is Aaron Donald, and throughout his career, Aaron Donald has been hugging Russell Wilson to the ground. Talk about my best friend. I mean, BFF. Those two have a great relationship. You know, having Aaron Donald sack Russell Wilson continuously throughout his career. And I think it's safe to say that Ndamukong Suh's going to get 1 sack. Michael Brockers, who everyone keeps calling this a duo, I mean, with Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh, Michael Brockers, the tenacious threesome is not a tenacious threesome without Michael Brockers. And he's an underrated guy when it comes to the Rams roster, and no one gives him any respect except me, and I will keep giving him respect because he's such a great player. I think Michael Brockers will have 1 sack, and Aaron Donald is going to have 2 sacks. This is going to be a really good game for the Rams defense. I think they exploit their weaknesses in this game when it comes to the offensive line for the Seahawks, and we will get going fairly soon like last year, and I think we'll probably be a little bit more dominant. The only reason I give the Seattle Seahawks like 1 more touchdown compared to last year is because they can run the ball a little bit better. Other than that, I think the Rams really do dominate this game, and you will see many Seahawks fans leave early. Now, the secondary is good. I mean, yes, we got torched by the Vikings wide receivers, but the wide receivers are really possibly the best wide receiver trio that we faced as of now. And I think Sam Shields almost had an interception, and he's going to get his, man. He has done a really good job. He got 1 against the Cardinals, and I think with him, yes, we did lose a step, losing Keith Talib, but I mean, Sam Shields is still a really good underrated signing of the offseason for the Rams. I was surprised when we ended up getting him. Marcus Peters in this game, healthy calf and all. And then you have the 2 safeties, LaMarcus Joyner and my dude John Johnson, my mini MVP of last year. He's done a great job this year so far, whether stopping the run, pass coverage. He was a steal, and even until this day, I feel bad about judging Wade Phillips on that one. I think we ended up spending a 3rd-round pick or a 4th-round pick on John Johnson, and so far he has exceeded my expectations. So I think the Rams do win this game fairly well. 45-14, Rams win, Rams victory. Jared Goff possibly about 300 plus yards, I think their secondary is going to be a little bit better than the Vikings. I think they're going to be game planning very well. But I do give Jared Goff about 3 touchdowns, no interceptions to 1 interception, because I think he might try to force one in there. But overall, the Rams do win, and they will be victorious. Now, if you look at the whole landscape and the whole division as a whole, the Rams will probably go 5-0, like I've said, and then Seattle will be 2-3. The Niners will probably go 1-4, 1-3, maybe 2-3 at best, but 1-4 most likely. And then the Arizona Cardinals will either go 1-4 or 0-5. And I think the Rams come out with the division. I mean, if you look at the Arizona Cardinals, they started Rosen, and I even said to the Arizona Cardinals fans, Rosen, I think, is going to be good. And he's giving me a little bit of that competitive edge. Give him some protection next draft. Give him some weapons. Upgrade that defense for the Cardinals, and they might be a problem. And I think the Arizona Cardinals are that sleeper team with the roster that they have that can actually be better than the 49ers, with or without Jimmy G, because that's what I think about Jimmy G. I think he's overrated. But the Arizona Cardinals are a team to watch right now. Look at Rosen's progression. I mean, he still has some pretty good weapons out there, just needs some more time to throw, and needs a better offensive coordinator. But we'll let the Arizona, front office handle that. But I do think that Rosen will be a problem for the Rams in the future. Whether or not they do things to help him is another thing. Now, the Niners, losing Jimmy Garoppolo has them playing with a below average quarterback. Yes, Jimmy G could be above average in years, like maybe a year or two. But right now, to me, he's an average quarterback. They still got some okay running game. They got a good offensive line. They have some wide receivers, some weapons. They do have some injuries. But I think overall the team is good. Whether or not Kyle Shanahan is an overrated head coach is to be seen right now. Because last year he started 0-9. Sean McVay was out here making the playoffs. This year he was 1-3, 1-2 with Jimmy Garoppolo. The Rams were 3-0. And they spent a ton of money for me to think that their excuses are really not lining up with what we thought we would have had with Kyle Shanahan calling the shots. Defense was okay. I mean, they're playing fairly well. They made some turnovers against the Chargers and the Vikings. So I'll give them credit for that, for upgrading that really bad 2017 defense. And they're looking fairly good with Sherman out there and Reuben Foster, and the defensive line is good. But then you look at the offense, and they were not clicking with Jimmy G. Now, Beathard gives him a competitive edge, but he's still below Jimmy G's performance and the standard that they have at quarterback. So I'll give him an excuse. Yes, Jimmy G is injured, but to me, they were still a little bit overhyped and overrated from last year, winning those 6 games and then having to face the Rams, backup secondary and backup defense, basically. So I think the Rams are going to walk out with this division this year. They will get another NFC West title. Hopefully they do great in the playoffs, and I think they will, because the offense is going to be good for the Rams. Their defense is going to be really good for the last part of the season, because Aqib Talib will be back. Mark Barron will be back to full health. Corey Littleton, to me, is an underrated guy, just like Samson Ebukam. Defensive line is stellar, and the Rams simply just have too much to overwhelm teams. I'm dying to face the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I want revenge from 2001. I want to play the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, or the Vikings, or the Saints, or whoever the NFC has for us to beat, because I think the Rams are in the league of their own as of now. And to tell you the truth, if they're scoring points the way they are, and this defense finds a way to make some more stops, and the secondary gets into a rhythm better, I think the sky's the limit for this team. And I've even said I think this team will go 13-3, possibly better. I don't think they go worse than 12-4, to tell you the truth. And that's it, you guys. So I hope you guys liked the video. I know I'm kind of late with these videos as of late. Kind of work schedule is kind of crazy, but to tell you the truth, I love making these videos. So just leave a like, leave a share, leave a comment. I'll be hitting up some more subjects, maybe some under the radar performances from certain players. I really like making these videos for you guys. So leave a like, share, comment, and please, if you haven't already,